Well, I'm here today with Pastor Lee Snyder. Lee, if you want to just introduce yourself and talk about what your role is here at Oak Haven.
Great. Well, my name is Lee Snyder. I'm the family life pastor here at Oak Haven. My biggest responsibility is to oversee all the ministries for kids from 0 through 5th grade. So the big picture of that is a nursery ministry. We have a preschool ministry called Acorn Academy.
You change all the diapers in the nursery.
No, I farm that out.
Yeah, okay, so you're helping others to be empowered to serve in the nursery.
Right. So we have a nursery coordinator that I oversee.
Yeah.
We have a preschool that has 9 staff, and we have about 60-some kids currently attending that, classes during the days. And then also our Sunday morning ministries for those ages as well as the elementary age kids. And then Wednesday nights we have Awana Clubs, which is for kids from 3 years through 5th grade.
So we are a very busy church full of young families and kids. I know a couple of my kids have come through Acorn, and we see quite a few of those families that actually get involved in the life of the church at Oak Haven. So that's been a great ministry for us. Besides kids, there's more to your role here.
Right. So, definitely working with kids directly, but also overseeing the volunteers that work in those ministries. And then the family part also comes in with trying to work with some parents and encourage and inspire parents to their roles as well. And also work with a marriage ministry that we have for married couples. And we do a variety of things with them, such as our big events we just got done with. We have 2 big retreats at Trout Lake Camp over the winter, and then just this weekend we have a date night. We encourage couples to go on dates and try to get some time alone and away from the kids and that kind of thing. Try to do that quarterly.
I think our marriage ministry has been really, really successful for the people that get involved with it, but it's one of those areas of the church that unless you're in it, you don't necessarily know about it. It can be a thing that's kind of hidden from plain sight. So I always want to encourage people, if you haven't been to marriage retreat, it's a fantastic thing to try. Great way to connect with other couples, a great way to invest in your marriage. And Lee's done a fantastic job of leading that over the last 4 years. So Lee, as we talk about children, you mentioned something about kind of investing in parents. I think we talked some about how we, as a church, we want to partner with families in the discipleship of the youngest ones. So what are some of the ways that you're doing that?
Right. So I try to do a bi-weekly newsletter just to encourage parents to have some resources and provide them with opportunities to do some things with their kids, to be involved. Try to yearly have some parent classes or something. Some of that's done maybe through small groups as well, which we'll probably talk about, but encourage them to have some resources that if you're in a small group with other parents to see that there's parents that are going through the same stage and age that you are and dealing with a lot of the same issues, so you're not on your own in that. But just more or less providing resources for the parents, and every once in a while, just so they know that the church wants to support them, that we don't expect them to be doing everything on their own. But on the other hand, we don't want parents to expect that as a church that we're going to raise their kids and we're going to give them all the things they need spiritually. We believe that really that needs to happen in the home primarily.
Right. One of the things that we've really valued as a family is kind of the multi-generational aspect of our church. We live far away from grandparents, so we have sort of adopted grandparents in the life of the church who know our kids, who know what our kids like and what they enjoy, and they really get involved because they're volunteering in the classroom, they're seeing the kids on Sunday mornings or in the Awana Clubs on Wednesday nights. So that's been a really strong part of our ministry. So this video series is for people who are considering becoming members of the church. So it's for people that are probably already involved in the life of the church, might be serving somewhere, maybe connected, but maybe not. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about the small group ministry you mentioned that you oversee, maybe someone who hasn't tried that out before. What's that like? What would be a small group experience?
Great, yeah. So we have a variety of small groups. You can get plugged in many different ways. There's some Bible studies, there's some men's groups, women's groups, and things like that we consider small groups, but primarily the focus of small groups are groups that meet anywhere from 10 to 16 people usually in a group is ideal. Some are bigger, some are maybe a little smaller, but most of the groups meet bi-weekly. Some couple meet weekly, but most of them meet every other week. And we try to encourage them to meet in homes. That gives them atmosphere of comfort. You get to know the people by going in their house and sharing with each other what's going on in your lives, as well as have a Bible study of some sort, to have a prayer time, and also usually there's food involved.
We have really great food in our small group. That's probably the highlight of our time together. And as much as we're trying to pick what's our next study going to be, we really want to pick what's the next menu going to be.
That's right.
And that's really important to us.
So we encourage people. It's really a great way to get connected, because there's connection you can have by serving and by being involved in other ministries and activities of the church. But really, it's really opening yourself up and being willing to learn from other people and to really get to know someone more of an intimate level, about what things have they experienced in their life, what things are they currently going through, are there things that you can work through together. Maybe someone's got some burdens they're carrying that they can help each other and serve each other. But it really is an opportunity to invest in relationships as well. We don't want people to be solo Christians, think they have to do everything on their own, and their spiritual life is all about what they accomplish. A lot of it has to do with working together with each other and just being in partnership and knowing that other people have experienced stuff that you haven't, and you probably have things that you've experienced that would be great to share with other people and give them some insight and wisdom on things that you've done as well.
Well, thanks for spending some time with me today. I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't spent any time with Pastor Lee, he's our longest tenured pastor here. He's been here a long time at Oak Haven, and we're sitting here in his office. It's also a lot of fun. You see, we've got like Spider-Man,
M&Ms,
anyone? Lights here. You can get some candy in Pastor Lee's office. So it's a great place to invest in the next generation, into our marriages, into the spiritual community and the life of our church. So I'm down here in the church basement in an area that not many people get to go. This is the church finance office. We're going to go inside and see who might be here. Let's go check it out. Knock, knock. Hey, it's Jeannie. Jeannie is our church treasurer. Surprise, Jeannie.
How can I help you?
Well, we're making a little video for prospective church members, and I thought it would be great to see about the money behind the scenes. So I brought you this little microphone. Put that on, and if you don't mind, I'd love to talk to you about the important part of ministry. Money is what gives us a lot of the resources we have to make ministry happen. So you've been the church treasurer for a few years now. I know you've learned a lot. And what's your perspective on how we all give to the Lord's work at the church?
Well, as far as how we give is an individual thing for each individual. However, the giving that comes in, I don't think people really realize where the money comes from to pay the bills. And unless you're convicted that you have to help support God's ministry by helping pay the bills, you need to come to an understanding between you and God and what He wants you to do.
Yeah, and the Bible teaches us a lot about giving. Jesus actually talked more about money than almost anything else, because money is really attached to what's in our hearts. And I know you're here. What are you doing? You paying the bills?
We're paying bills. We're paying payroll to pay our employees.
I see some timesheets there, so that's good. We love it when you actually do the payroll.
I bet you do.
Every, twice a month, like clockwork.
Yes.
The staff gets paid.
They do.
And that's an important part of the finances of our church, because the staff are the ones that help run a lot of our ministries and recruit and train people. So we wouldn't be able to do it without the staff.
They do.
But the staff wouldn't be able to do it without lots of people giving. And over the years that I've been here, I know we've worked on lots of different ways that people can give. So in your mind, maybe there's not a best way to give, because there's lots of different ways.
There's many ways to give.
But just talk about some of the ways that people
We try to make it as easy for you as possible. You can write us a check. You can put cash in an envelope, put it in the offering plate. all contributions to the church, which is a nonprofit, is a tax-deductible donation, and we track all that for the individuals.
Yeah.
And something I learned a long time ago when my giving wasn't up to par, until I realized how important God felt that my giving was to the church. And so you could go online, you can use your credit card, you can go online, have it come directly out of your checking account, or you can write a check, you can put cash, as I said.
Yeah,
There's many ways.
Some people I know don't like to give certain ways because there's fees associated with that. So what's the best way to avoid fees if I want to set it up automatically, or do it through the website? Are there ways there are more or less fees?
Well, if you have it come directly out of your checking account on our website, it's less expensive than if you use a credit card.
Oh, okay. So even though I want those frequent flyer miles on the credit card, it may be better for the church.
However, it doesn't matter. You do what works best for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those are some ways that we can give. And, generally when we talk about giving, we're talking about money. But I really like to broaden that to think about the topic of our generosity as people of faith. We don't just give money, we also give of our time and the different skills that God has given to us. So what are your thoughts about just the importance of our generosity as God's people?
Our generosity, as you state, is more than just the money. It is the time that you give to participate. There is such a need in so many areas. I'm not an accountant. I'm a registered nurse. And yet I have a thing for numbers. And this is an area that works well for me, and I like it. And I can know that I am helping the mission of spreading God's word by doing my part. And my part happens to be being the church treasurer. So
if you have questions about the finances of the church, come and find the finance office. If you need like critical cardiac care, you can also come to the church finance office.
I don't make any guarantees.
You don't do house visits anymore?
No.
Well, Jeannie, thanks for taking some time just to inform our potential new members in the future. And it's always a joy to hear from you.
All right.
And we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much for asking me. If you have any questions, just come and ask. I'm here to help.
One of the very important components to being a member of a church is the contribution that you make to the lives of others. One of the ways that we do that is by discovering where we can serve. God has gifted you in ways that are different than the way that He has gifted me. And our church is richer because people jump in to serve in lots of different ways. We really value servant leadership, and we want to equip people to serve the Lord within the walls of the church building and our programs that we have, but also out in the community. And an important part of our service is also reaching out to others that are a part of our lives that we can influence. These might be our neighbors, they might be people that we work with, they could be family members or friends that we make in the community who don't have a church home. Who don't know God or haven't been introduced to the love of Jesus Christ. And as followers of Jesus, we have been called to reach out to them. And so I want to encourage you as a part of membership to be involved in serving others in the life of our church and in God's kingdom, and to reaching out beyond ourselves. That is such an important part of a healthy church. And so we want to always be encouraging one another in ways that we can learn to reach out to others. Not only how we do it corporately through different campaigns that we do or different programs that the church puts on, but also how each one of us individually as Christians looks around us and says, this is a person that I want to be praying for. I'm going to commit to that. I'm going to pray for them. every day. And then I'm going to look for opportunities to have a spiritual conversation. I'm going to look for opportunities to invite them to come to my church and to become a part of what God is doing here. So let me just encourage you, you have a role to play in serving others and in reaching out to other people that are in your life.